Putin says Russia has nothing to do with the US-Iran war.
I wouldn't really speak about any domineering pose. It doesn't mean that this new multipolar world should have any hegemons, because no one is speaking about this.
But 3 senior American officials told the Washington Post that Russia is feeding Iran the exact locations of US warships and aircraft across the Middle East. Ukrainian intelligence says Russian satellites surveyed 9 military bases across Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Jordan, Turkey and the UAE, and within days of each survey, Iranian missiles and drones hit those same locations. Russia is not pulling the trigger, but it is telling Iran exactly where to aim, and that distinction matters less and less with every American service member who ends up dead. The relationship between Russia and Iran did not start with this war. For the past 3 years, the two countries have been running what amounts to a weapons exchange program. Iran gave Russia thousands of Shod drones and short-range ballistic missiles to use in Ukraine. In return, Russia gave Iran access to advanced military technology and signed a comprehensive strategic partnership treaty with Tehran in January 2025. That treaty has an intelligence sharing clause written directly into it. Article 4 states plainly that the two countries' security services will exchange information and experience. So when US officials express shock that Russia is feeding Iran satellite data, they should not be that shocked. Iran and Russia signed a paper that says exactly that. What Russia has been sending since the war started goes well beyond satellite feeds. The Financial Times reported in late March, citing Western intelligence, that Russia began a phased shipment of drones to Iran in early March. And these are not the original Shod drones Iran designed and sent to Moscow years ago. Russia took those drones, spent years upgrading them, and is now sending its own improved versions back. The upgrades are significant. The airframes use new materials. The satellite antenna arrays have better resistance to electronic jamming. Some have been fitted with Chinese radio modems and cameras that allow mesh communications and real-time operator-controlled strikes against moving targets. Russia even put anti-aircraft missiles on some versions to threaten the helicopters and jets, trying to shoot them down. Iran fired more than 3,000 one-way attack drones since this war began. Russia just made the next wave harder to stop. Before this war started, Russia had already been loading Iran up with hardware. A contract for 48 Su-35 fighter jets was confirmed, with delivery scheduled across 2026 to 2028. In January 2026, Iran received up to 6 Russian Mi-28 attack helicopters. A deal worth €500 million for Verba man-portable air defense systems was signed just days before the war broke out on February 28. Russian personnel are still inside Iran supervising the assembly of military equipment and transferring knowledge. Russia also confirmed all of this openly. Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov went on French television and said plainly that Russia has a technical military cooperation agreement with Iran, and within that framework has provided military equipment. He denied sharing intelligence on US bases. Ukrainian intelligence says that denial is not true. What makes Russia's role so damaging is not just the hardware, it is the knowledge. Iranian drone tactics in this war look different from anything Iran has done before. The strikes are more precise. They are focused specifically on radar sites and communication posts, which are exactly the kind of command and control targets you go after if you have studied Russia's air campaign in Ukraine. A professor at Sciences Po in Paris who specializes in Russia-Iran cooperation told NBC News that the types of targets Iran is hitting and the way it is hitting them suggest enhanced intelligence that Iran simply could not generate alone. Iran's military satellite constellation is limited. Russia's is not. Moscow has been pointing its overhead surveillance network at US positions across the Gulf and sharing what it sees. The British Defense Secretary John Healey did not mince words about it. He said there is an axis of aggression between Russia and Iran, and that Moscow is sharing tactics, training, and technology to help Tehran fight the United States and Israel. He added that Putin's hidden hand is behind some of what Iran is doing. Israel apparently agreed with that assessment because it launched a strike on Iran's Bandar Anzali port on the Caspian Sea specifically to disrupt the supply line Russia was using to move equipment to Iran. The Wall Street Journal confirmed that was the intent of that strike. Trump acknowledged that Russia is helping Iran but was characteristically unbothered about it. He told Fox News that Putin might be helping Iran a little bit, then added that Putin probably thinks America is helping Ukraine. So it is kind of even. His Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth told reporters that Russia and China are not really a factor in the Iran war. The same week, Iranian drones killed 6 American service members at a base in Kuwait. The Pentagon had intelligence suggesting the strike was guided by Russian targeting data. Hegseth's assessment and the body count are difficult to reconcile. The reason Russia is doing this is not complicated. Every day this war continues, oil prices stay high and Putin profits. The Strait of Hormuz closure has sent Brent crude above $100 a barrel, and the US was forced to temporarily ease sanctions on Russian oil exports, just to stop global energy markets from collapsing further. Russia is also watching the United States burn through interceptor missiles at a rate that leaves fewer of them available for Ukraine.
It doesn't mean that this new multipolar world should have any hegemons, because no one is speaking about this, not in BRICS, not in the SCO. Everyone has equal rights in this multipolar world. And from international law point of view, everyone must have equal rights, must be in the similar position. Yes, there are economic giants like India or China, and actually our country is among top 4 biggest economies if we speak about the purchasing power parity. These are the current realities. That's not something that we would like to have. That's what international organizations calculate, but it doesn't mean that anyone should dominate over the politics or over global security. So we do not believe that there should be some domination. Everyone must be equal.
אנשים צוחקים פה בתוך הבית, אחי. יש פה שריפה, נפילה? נפילה של טיל. או רסיס, לא רסיס, כנראה רסיס. אני פוליסטאים של סבא. אולי מצרר, כן, אם מצרר הוא גם קטן, אז הוא יכול להיות. יש פה חשמל, אומרים שיש פה גז. וואלה, על החשמל. תיזהר, תיזהר. יש פה גז כנראה, יש פה חשמל, שלא יתפוצץ. תיזהר. החיים שלך חשובים יותר מהכל. طلعت رفاعي هون طلعت رفاعي هون على دوار الزيتونة على دوار الزيتونة العالم بالأراضي بعيد عني يا زلمة بعيد عني ما في 100 متر
هيدا هلا حزام ناري عجباه
ضربوا الهانس ضربوا الهانس فوق الهانس هانس ضربوا الهانس يا شباب ضربة